It was a chilly evening in Los Angeles when Chris Pratt found himself in a rare moment of peace. He had just wrapped up a long day of filming, and as usual, the rush of his hectic schedule had left him drained. But tonight was different. He was in town for a charity event focused on helping struggling families, and for the first time in a while, he allowed himself to truly think about the families he was aiming to assist. As he sat in the quiet of his hotel room, the weight of his celebrity and the adoration that came with it felt distant. His thoughts drifted back to his own humble beginnings and how much harder things had been before he made it big. He remembered the days when his own family had struggled and how he swore that if he ever had the chance, he would do everything he could to help others. Later that evening, Chris was introduced to the Moreno family at the charity event. The family's story struck him immediately. The father, Carlos, was a hard-working mechanic who had been laid off from his job due to an injury. His wife, Maria, juggled several part-time jobs to make ends meet, but their bills were piling up. They had two children, Sophia and Daniel, both of whom were bright and full of potential, yet their future seemed uncertain. Carlos and Maria greeted Chris with warmth, but it was clear they carried a heavy burden. They had worked tirelessly to create a better life for their children, but the challenges they faced seemed insurmountable. Chris listened to their story intently, his heart aching for the family. He saw in them the same determination that he had witnessed in his own family, and it sparked something deep inside him. When the night ended, Chris knew he had to do something. He couldn't just stand by and watch as this family struggled. He decided to take immediate action. The next morning, Chris contacted his team and began making arrangements. First, he ensured that Carlos would be able to undergo surgery for his injury and receive the proper care needed to get back to work. He also arranged for a new job opportunity for Carlos with a local auto repair shop. Maria's workload was overwhelming, so Chris connected her with a network of employers who were willing to offer flexible jobs that would allow her to spend more time with her family. But Chris didn't stop there. He knew that the children, Sophia and Daniel, were the future, and he wanted to make sure they had every opportunity to succeed. He reached out to local educational programs and arranged scholarships for them. He even set up a college fund for Sophia, who had dreamed of becoming a doctor, and for Daniel, who had a passion for engineering. Several weeks later, the Morenos were invited to a special event where Chris would be giving them a surprise. When they arrived, they were escorted to a private room where Chris stood waiting with a huge smile on his face. "Carlos, Maria," he said, "I know the road you've traveled hasn't been easy, but you've done it with so much love and perseverance. I'm here to help make things a little easier for you." Chris handed Carlos an envelope. Inside was a signed contract for the new job, along with a note about the upcoming surgery. Then he turned to Maria and handed her a letter of recommendation for the flexible job positions. "This is just the beginning," he said with a warm smile. "And there's more." Chris gestured toward Sophia and Daniel, who were standing by the door, wide-eyed. "For both of you, I've set up scholarships and I've put together a college fund to make sure your dreams come true," he said, his voice full of pride. Sophia's eyes welled up with tears while Daniel grinned from ear to ear. The family couldn't believe what they were hearing. Maria, choked with emotion, could barely speak. You don't know how much this means to us," she said, her voice trembling. "We've tried so hard, but this is beyond anything we ever imagined." Chris placed a hand on her shoulder. "I see so much strength in your family," he said. "This is just a small step, but I believe in you all. You have what it takes to make it, and I'll be here to support you." The Morenos left the event that night with a renewed sense of hope. The help they had received wasn't just financial, it was a lifeline that would change their lives for good. They knew that they had the opportunity to rebuild, and with Chris's support, they felt stronger than ever before. Over the next few months, Carlos's recovery went smoothly, and he started his new job. Mariah found a flexible position that allowed her to be more present for her children. Sophia thrived in her studies, and Daniel began to explore engineering with even more passion than before. The family's future was now full of possibilities, and their dreams felt within reach. Chris watched from afar, feeling a sense of pride that words couldn't fully capture. He knew that helping the Morenos wasn't just about money, it was about giving them the tools to rebuild their lives, to create new opportunities, and to realize the dreams they had fought so hard for. As he continued with his busy filming schedule, Chris kept in touch with the Moreno family. The small gesture of support had blossomed into a story of hope, determination, and the enduring power of kindness. It reminded him that sometimes even the smallest acts of generosity could change a life forever.